Hello everyone, welcome to another Top 5 Records video, and another one in the series in which I'm taking a closer look at the full body of work of David Bowie. And we have arrived in 1995 with this one. David Bowie, One Outside. Now, why is it One Outside? Because this was originally to be part of a trilogy of albums by David Bowie, produced together with Brian Eno, in which they would explore a new, different concept. Because uh, this isn't very common knowledge, but uh, Outside is a concept album. It tells the story of some kind of an art detective, and David Bowie is playing and telling stories from different characters. As a matter of fact, on this album, you can hear David Bowie act with different voices. And though Bowie was a splendid actor, I can't say that I'm a big fan of the voices here. But that's the only thing I'm not a fan of over here, because this one Outside, it is quite something. The pressing I have, oh, this is nice, a nice addition to the story. For example, this is one of the characters, and this is one of the characters, and Bowie is playing with perspectives and um, different kinds of narrative. And there's also this personal note that is included into the box set that Bowie explains that it's mostly up to the imagination of the audience what to decide of the narrative of what it has to say. So there's this element of collage in here. Am I saying that correctly? I'm not sure how to pronounce it in properly in English, but this record is an interesting concept, and Bowie's playing with narratives. Having said that, it wasn't even clear to me. That factor wasn't clear to me the first times I was listening to it. I just discovered it because I was doing this video. That doesn't mean I didn't pay close attention to this record, because I think Outside is among the best records Bowie has made. And I know that's a bold statement, but I imagine when I'm doing the full ranking of all his albums, this one might be top 10 material. And it says a lot, because Bowie has been so prolific and he has been reinventing himself time and time again. Because Outside is nothing like his prior albums, Buddha of Suburbia, which is more atmospheric, or the crazy pop jazz from Black Tie White Noise. You do notice that David Bowie was in a different scene at this moment in time. This album is drenched with New York art scene. Bowie was taking his painting more and more serious. The front cover was painted by David Bowie. And I have the sense that a certain seriousness, a different tone, is getting into the work of Bowie. Just as you notice that Lou Reed also changes by the 90s New York art scene. And both go into different directions, but there's a different sincerity. It, also a certain difference in maturity, and it changes the goal of the art, because I don't have the idea that with Outside Bowie is trying to make something as pleasing or as comfortable as he did with Ziggy Stardust or Aladdin Sane or Young Americans or even Station to Station. There is much more of an element of chaos here, of dissonance, and yet the brilliant element remains that there are melodies, lines, moments of vocals that are really, really catchy. Within this chaos lies an incredible beauty, and I don't think it makes this record hard to get into. It's harder to get into than his 70s stuff, and a lot harder to get into than his 80s stuff. But it is vastly rewarding, because if you take a look at the track list, It opens with Leon takes us outside and outside. Um, they flow into each other, and outside is beautiful opening track. And immediately after outside, we get the Heart's Filthy Lesson. The Heart's Filthy Lesson is one of the best songs Bowie ever did. It's so rough, grinding, Bowie in a low tone screaming. It's a plea out of insanity. I love that song. It's also the song that was later, I believe in 1996 or 1997, I believe it's 1996, used in the film Seven by David Fincher. When you get to the end, to the titles, the end titles, um, this one just jams you in the face. It's one of the most important final songs in films ever, in my opinion, because when the clue of that film hits you and you get Heart's Filthy Lesson, Heart's Filthy Lesson, it's so good. And there is something in Bowie's tone, and that's in this entire record. It's so good. A Small Plot of Land, it's okay. Then side two, Hello Spaceboy. That was a hit for him. I believe it was even in the top 10 in the UK at that time. Later on, it became a hit again when the Pet Shop Boys did a version of it. The original version is brilliant. The one with the Pet Shop Boys is gorgeous. But again, Hello Spaceboy, one of the better songs in Bowie's catalog. This competes with his best material. Then The Motel, beautiful, soft, atmospheric Brian Eno song with nice lyrics as well. Then I Have Not Been to Oxford Town. I love the melody in that song. Great song after great song. It just keeps kicking in. Side three, The Voyeur of Utter Destruction. I like that. Side three is the one in the CD era. When you translate them to records, you notice that an album becomes a double album, and albums that should not have been made as double albums become double albums. That's not fully the case with Outside, but there is pretty often a moment of fatigue. My moment of fatigue is happens on side three, but then again on side four, getting We Prick You and I'm Deranged. Oh, I mean, he just keeps on giving. He just keeps on giving. And I'm Deranged is again one of the strongest songs in Bowie's catalog, also used in the film. It's the opening track from Lost Highway by David Lynch. The other is David Fincher. This is David Lynch. Again, he sets a haunting, eerie mood, and again, on one album with I'm Deranged, he created a song that would later be used as an essential element in an essential 90s film. Both Lost Highway and Seven are essential 90s films. I mean, perhaps during the 90s, Bowie traded in being a pop figure. In the 70s, he became a cult glam rock experimental 70s icon. Then he became a pop icon in the 70s. And in the 90s, he became an art phenomenon. And I think that's what you notice because his influence is still everywhere in film, in art, in music. He works with the best. He goes into new directions. He may not be delivering in the sense of the pop mainstream anymore. And I don't know if that's by choice or by just different emotional steering, but he does deliver and he is on top of his game. This one Outside, it's a masterpiece. Yeah, it's a masterpiece. So I'm curious, what do you think? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Leave a comment below and I'll see you in the next video.